How's it going, guys? Matt here with Carolina Coops. Welcome to Video Chicken. To my left is my host, Kristen Warren.
I think this one really could be a male.
Oh, we got one that's hatching? This show is for you guys. This is the bass fiber. Y'all know chickens are the gateway drug into homesteading.
We survived with only one trip to the ER.
Coyotes are everywhere.
It's about time you show up, Matt.
Uh-huh.
It's a great straw.
It is time, finally, for chicken police. They defecate every 12 seconds. Is that true? Now it is officially noon because the buzzer went off.
Well, I've never counted.
Long
More
road.
coops.
That's a good one with the courts and everything.
And more chickens.
Well, the math you do now, Daddy, is chicken math.
Calm down, Matt.
But-
Calm down.
What's going on, guys? Matt here. Video Chicken Live. What month is it? May 6th. May 6th.
I think we missed Cinco de Mayo.
Yeah, that's the last time I'm going to try to say today's date because that one's going to be tough. Welcome to Video Chicken Live. To my left, co-host, chicken expert, sales girl here, saleswoman, salesperson. What is the right way to say that?
I think I'm chickenista or
Chicken-
chicken enthusiast.
I think we should just stick to chickenista to keep it simple. But if you ever,
I kind of like chicken enthusiast.
I like chickenista. If you ever
right.
call here, we have 3 girls now answer the phone. Kristen is one of them. As always, first one here, last one to leave. In charge, Ingrid, doing her thing behind the camera, behind the computer, behind the soundboard. Just doing an amazing job as always. Love that you guys are here already. We are live. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday, Ingrid.
Yep, happy Friday, folks.
Ingrid's like, yeah. I like this, Ingrid.
Matt stresses me out before the show all the time.
How am I
I just
stressed?
can't take it.
How am I stressing you
That's
out?
why I slipped in at the last minute.
Yeah, so it makes Kristen not seem stressful because you were doing all this other stuff
You
that was
can't mess
stressing
with
me out.
my juju.
I love when, truth be told, right now on the other side of that wall, we had a couple show up from Lewisburg, North Carolina, saying, we were told to come and buy a chicken coop from you. And so Nan took over, so you won't hear her too much behind the mic in her office talking about chickens and chicken coops. And it's always so much fun hearing the same thing over and over, believe it or not, even though I know when we're on the phone all the time, it's like, oh, yeah, everyone's got predators, da-da-da. But it is still fun. And we had some fun calls happen, one last week, one this week I thought we should talk about. But more importantly, 12:15 Eastern, 9:15 Western for this gentleman. Yes, today we have Kevin.
It's Western is specific.
Pacific time.
Yes.
Pacific.
Man, what? I need another cup of coffee.
So we got
9:15.
Kevin from Epic Gardening, Epic Homesteading. I'm sure he's got his YouTube channel. He's got his TikTok. If you guys didn't already know, we did a coop for him. Gosh, when was it?
I've lost all track of time.
That does happen.
I think it was January. You went out there January.
No, you're kidding.
Yeah.
Because the weather was beautiful. I mean, San Diego is just
it's always
paradise.
beautiful.
Yeah.
It is just paradise. We did a chicken coop for him. Kevin has agreed to come on today. He's given us 30 minutes of his time, which is so generous. I wasn't expecting that much time. Thought you guys out there would absolutely love it. We did do you got to fill me in with words. I'm not good with all the
Well, I screwed up Pacific.
Pacific time. You are correct, not Western, because there's Mountain Pacific time. He is 3 hours behind us. Collaboration. We did a collaboration with Kevin. And what's interesting about that is we get how many calls now, how many emails a week asking for collaborations?
Oh, yes, many.
Daily?
Yeah.
Probably.
And I don't like to do
I was
that.
the original, though. Do you know that?
I guess you, I guess.
Yeah, like 12 years ago.
Wow, OG.
Yeah.
All right. I did agree to do a collaboration with Kevin because I saw the genuineness, is that a word, in him, where
Authenticity.
Yeah, when these people come to collaborate, it's like, you just want a free coop. We know what's going on. Come on now. Kevin's got a very good I don't want to say problem, but he genuinely loves what he does to a very high level. And I know that's why he's been so successful. So to me, for him to reach out to us and say, dude, your coops are the best. I want to be part of the Carolina Coops game, if you will. Come out and let's talk business. And we did it.
Well, also, Kevin, he doesn't just want whatever he can get. He wants the best for the stuff in his garden, for the things that he does. He really researches something before he puts himself behind it. And we have to respect that, because it's not just like, well, here's something free. Okay, I love this item. You know, he vets those things out, and they're things that he actually uses, and he finds the value in it. So
Exactly. That's what I was trying to say. Excellent.
He's a great teacher, too.
He is. And I love his twist on how he likes to share his social media content. And again, he's brilliant at it, does such a great job. I had the opportunity to learn so much from him and still do. He is just such a super great guy. So he's going to be on in about 10 minutes. So if you guys have questions specifically for Kevin, definitely leave them in the comments section. If you don't have any questions or comments, as always, please let us know where you're watching from. I thought I saw someone say Dominican Republic.
yes, Matt Cabala is checking in from the Dominican Republic, watching you guys before I board my plane back to the States.
Oh, awesome. That is awesome. So again, this show is for you guys. And if you have any questions or comments, leave them in. We're going to talk chicken. So we're going to bring Kevin on. We're going to talk about a couple things. And that is, how's it going with this chicken coop?
Yeah, we got to talk we got to get the chicken talk out of the way.
Well, we're going to get what do you mean? Chicken talk between the show right now or with Kevin?
No, with Kevin.
No, okay.
Yeah, like
That's what I was
we
gonna
want
say.
the chicken update.
Well, that's what we're going to do, especially talking about the transition, because he did it your way of taking the baby chicks, raising them to 5 or 6 weeks, I can't remember, and then introduced them into the hen house. So it's just always nice to hear from a customer or someone that's actually used it to see how it went. And also because he is a gardener, I love to talk about the topic of to till or not to till, because we did bring that up a little bit when we did the show 3, 4, 5 weeks ago. I don't remember how long ago when we cleaned out the hen house. I know I keep looking to Ingrid. I'm like,
I have no idea.
no idea.
Well, because it came up there because we were talking about whether or not he was going to till it into his garden after he took it out of his chicken coop, and I said, "Well, wait a minute, whoa."
Yeah, whoa, oh no.
Also, Kevin can help us with chickens and gardens and see what he's going to do as a new chicken daddy, what he's going to do with his garden and his chickens.
The chicken dad, he is brilliant at those names. I
love that.
think he actually trademarks them too. So, and also Ingrid, I did ask her, I said, can we experiment with the new backgrounds? I can't stand where it looks like this with the antenna from the TV. Is this driving you nuts? Our logo is in the center. We're not in the center.
I know.
Is that
and
driving?
the chickens are cut off, and now I'm all
Oh,
annoyed.
I see what's going on.
Well, we had to adjust because we're expecting a guest.
That is
so
true.
we need to scoot.
That is
They
true.
were
All
scooched
right.
together.
So Kevin is going to be on at 12:15 Eastern.
Yeah, are you
9:50
feeling crowded?
No, actually,
Okay.
no. I'm not at all. I appreciate it.
So what
And
did you want to discuss before
well,
he comes on?
there's things we need to discuss. And because we did have a couple visitors show up today, I didn't get a chance to start doing my notes like I normally do. But there's been some things that have come up. One phone call last week, and we didn't get a chance as the marketing/sales team to talk about this. We have a gentleman.
I love when we just talk about it live.
Why not? Why not? Because this is going to be awesome. We've always been wanting to do this.
He called this morning.
Yes, and thank you for not putting me in right with him right away, because everything that happened this morning, I'm like, oh gosh, now Kristen's calling. What is going on? We have a gentleman that paid a contractor to build a chicken coop for him last year, 2 years ago, and they're running into all kinds of problems. And he even said, he goes, man, now I know why. We should have just called you guys. But here's what I want to do. I want us to go out there, do it on video. I have not seen his coop. I said, don't send us pictures. And be able to do a video capturing the problems that he had so we can share that with people that are building their own coops. Here's the real deal. And can Carolina Coops fix it? Which I'm sure we can, but
It's like bar rescue, but
yes,
with chicken coops.
Coop rescue. Fix my coop. That's it. So that's what I'm getting at. So
Love it.
It's local. I definitely want the two of us to be there. I would love if Ingrid's there.
We can have the flip it or fix it. What is that one?
That's it. That's
yeah.
it. That's
Can we fix this chicken coop, or do we need to sell it?
That's exactly it. But we're gonna do it unlike reality shows. We're gonna do it for real.
Yeah, not scripted.
Not scripted. It's gonna be for real. That's one thing. Number two, yesterday I was jumping out of my boots. This is really cool. We're going to go out and do another video. Now, does Ingrid have any clue what I'm about to talk about?
We never know what you're going to say.
Yeah.
You know what I'm about to say. You were part of the call. You got the original call.
Oh, that, yeah.
One of our original custom coops we did in North Raleigh, unbeknownst, did I say that right? To us, the lady, and there's a funny story about her multiple coops until we finished on her custom coop, sold her home and left her coop there. So the new buyers called up and said, hey, we just bought this house. We were told it's Carolina Coop. We want to get chickens now. So we're going to go out there and do a walk around of her coop.
Which coop is it?
It's on the custom coop page, and it's unlike any other.
Was it on the Torta coop?
No, she would not let us do Torta Coop.
It might be a semi-HOA issue.
Semi? The whole story started where she called us up back in like probably 2008 saying, I want a chicken coop from you guys, but I have this path that everyone walks behind their property. So she had to plant arborvitaes or cypress trees or cedar trees, whatever that was. And she had to wait till they got to a certain height to kind of block her coop. Then she got a Carolina Coop, and I warned her. I said, the run's not big enough for what you're telling me. So then she called me up a year later, laughing, going, Matt, you were right. So we had to do a run edition, and she still wasn't happy. So we ended up taking her coop in on trade, which I think eventually
went to my kid's art teacher.
Yes. And then we built her a custom coop, reclaimed barnwood. It was one of the originals of the Craftsman, if you will. Now looking back, it's where I learned about the rope wrap roost bars.
And you got a video of her chickens running. The
Yes,
big
that's
fat,
the one with
Yes.
the arch door.
Yes.
I
arch door,
love
yes.
that coop.
Yes. I mean, I guess if I would have told Ingrid, she would have been prepared with a picture.
Oh, wow. What preparation?
Prep.
What's that? Why even do that for a show and be all professional?
This is
well,
our.
we prepared enough to have Kevin
Oh
on.
gosh,
Yes, that
yes. I mean, if people knew what was going on, so there's that. Also, don't forget, we haven't rang it in a while, and that's okay. You have the opportunity to win a free shirt. I believe the last free shirt did go out last week. If you leave us a comment, a question, something that contributes to what we're trying to do here, that I'm like, oh my gosh, that is awesome. That deserves a free shirt. We ring the bell and you get a free shirt. And I know there is a tactic. I want people to be able to engage, but I think it's a lot of fun to give, and I want to do it more and more.
Yeah, we're seeing a real community here with the comments.
Yeah,
Yes,
so let's
during the show.
let's go
This
get
one.
Yes.
This one. Joan says, my Carolina Coop has easily withstood 2 hailstorms. Chickens don't even run into the hen house during a storm. They're very happy with the coop. Yeah, they can just stay underneath. They usually go underneath.
What a great point. I tell you, I have some frustrations right now dealing with the state of California with quality of coops, and they're holding a coop of ours to the standard of building a home. And the standards in California, because of earthquakes and fire and wind, because we're up on top of a mountain, is insane. And they don't care about furniture quality grade building. Doesn't count, because the engineers that have to prove everything don't have those in their specs. But I tell you, it's been crazy. And part of the conversation, which we still haven't gotten the video up, I don't know if we talked about it, where we did a video testing breaking one of our trusses that was rejected. Took over 1,000 pounds before it broke. We still haven't finalized that video. I think we're just going to have to redo it. But again, they will last the test of time. There's so many things about our coops. Or if you're thinking about building a coop, those are the things I'm trying to teach you guys, is not how to copy our coop. That's not what I'm saying. But if you're going to go out and choose lumber, here's what we suggest. We had another person recently rip us up and down. Not sure if we're going to talk about it today, and if we get a chance for YouTube Chicken Please.
Oh.
That's not pressure treated.
Oh, that guy.
So thank you, Joan, for that.
We do
Yes.
use pressure treated on the portion of the coop that is in contact with the ground, and it's ground contact rated. Disclaimer, but the whole thing is not
Gamer
pressure treated.
Earl, what is that? Erling?
Gingerhead.
Oh, see, that's why I can't read. I need some ideas. I am a first-time chicken owner. The coop that came with my house flooded, so I am watching for some great tips. You're at the right place. We have so many great tips, and you can go back, watch our past shows.
Yeah, watch the coop placement.
That would
for
be
that with
key.
the flooding.
Yeah, good point. So you got Video Chicken, you got our regular YouTube channel. We love to, that's our tactic here, right? We want to educate people. Here's what you need to know about chickens. And then you're going to realize why we do what we do, which I want to bring up another point. And I know Kevin's going to come in here any minute, and we're going to jump right into that. We did make an official change yesterday, and I meant to call the first customer to give them a heads up. We're changing the ladder. I know you're not in love with it, and I don't blame you, and I appreciate
I'm not either.
that.
I believe in Kristen.
Ooh. Oh.
But I mean, I don't have any kind of say.
You absolutely.
I think we need some comments. Do we have a picture of it?
I think that we should bring one in.
I
then.
do not like it.
Oh my God. I do not like green eggs and ham.
I do not.
And I have an old chicken who has like a bum leg, and she still uses the new ladder. Just
Well, thank
perfectly
you.
Fine.
Thank you.
And
So,
she climbs up it. Like she climbs up. She's slow, but she climbs up it perfectly fine.
I love the existing ladder so much, and you know I'm cheap, frugal. I would pay extra for that ladder.
Yeah, aesthetically it looks better.
and that's the.
I think the function is better.
All right, there's Kevin ringing in. Let's go ahead and get into it. And then we'll get back to the ladder.
We better.
Let's see. Boom, boom, boom. Add to the. There he is. What's going on, Kevin?
Hi.
Hey, what's up, guys?
Good morning. Happy Friday. I see you're at your home there out in beautiful San Diego, California.
Yep, hanging out in the backyard.
Awesome. I can't thank you enough for taking the time to be with us here. And I was just leading in to explain to everyone that we did a collaboration. You were the first person I did a collaboration with. And just, again, wanted to thank you so much that you have been the right choice, without a doubt.
Yeah.
Because, I'm picky, and I remember Kevin going, and I was surprised when he said this. He goes, Matt, you had me a little nervous. Like, I had to sell this to you, which I guess looking back, I could see how that could have came across, but I saw a lot of similarities in our minds why we're trying to achieve what we want to achieve. So, Kevin, thank you so much for what you're doing. Thank you for being here. You got a lot of fans, which I know you already know that. They couldn't wait to see you. So here he is. And Kevin, okay, come in.
Also, make sure everyone knows who doesn't know, but I don't know who they are. But if they don't know, it's you can follow Kevin on Epic Homesteading and Epic Gardening on both YouTube and Instagram. Lots of tips, lots of great videos. So please make sure you follow him if you don't already.
Yeah,
if you're one of the 3 people that don't already follow him, make sure you follow him.
Okay, Mom.
Yeah, no, thank you, Ingrid. That's exactly why I keep Ingrid around, because I forget those things. I just assume everyone knows who Kevin is, especially when he does a TikTok on our Coop when he first got it, and
That
was
was really good.
12 million views in 3 days. It's like, holy cow! I had so many people like, oh my gosh, there's your chicken coop. I was like,
Yeah, thank you, Kevin, because now you set the bar way too high
Yeah.
for our TikTok.
All right.
Thank you.
Hey, I didn't even know it would do that well, so I'm happy it did.
Yeah, I get calls from people that say, I want that one.
Oh, do you really?
Yeah, I want
That's
Kevin's coop.
Yeah, and
Maybe we need to have a signature coop together, huh?
Yeah.
we absolutely do. And to take it a step further, is there not a lady that insists on having the exact coop with the same exact chickens?
Yeah.
In color.
Serious?
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's wild. The same chickens is another level of dedication, I feel like.
Yeah.
It absolutely is. I love it. I think that's great. So, Kevin, again, thank you for being here. What I would love to do is there's a couple of things I wanted to talk to you about. One is how's it going with the coop, especially you got baby chicks and you raise them to a certain age and you transition them into your coops. I would love it if you could talk to us about that, the things that maybe you learned, things that worked, didn't work, showing everyone that's watching right now how did it go?
Yeah, sure. So here it is. The coop's right here. You guys can see, hopefully in the background there.
Mm-hmm.
I'll give you a quick little walkthrough. I'll show you the girls.
God, they've
So
got
we've
big.
got. They're big, aren't they? You remember them, Matt?
Look at that ladder.
Look at these. Look at these girls. Yeah, I need to clean the ladder off a little bit. I'll just say that right there.
I love it. I love it.
But what's nice is I got them trained up on the water bar pretty quickly, actually. And then the coop works is in here.
Nice.
So I will say the transition, I was a little nervous because the lavender orp was a week and a half younger than the rest. And I think I put the rest out at like 5 weeks, but we're in San Diego, so it's not that cold. So I figured it would be fine. Turns out it was. It took a while for them to get used to going in and out of the actual hen house. So I didn't know how much I should let them leave that to chance. And so for the first maybe 3 or 4 days, I would pick them up and carry them around and then put them in because I didn't know if they'd actually figure it out. And then I think it was like day 5, they figured it out at sunset, and I watched them like, over a 15-minute period, very slowly get in through the ladder and like get kind of look nervous a little bit. But they eventually made it in. And then I think yesterday, the day before, was the first day at night that all of them were on the rope wrap roost bars. Most of the time they were sleeping in the actual litter. So now they actually made it up onto the bars, which is really cool. So honestly, the transition wasn't too challenging over here.
And that's what we like to hear. Nor should it be, but I know that's a question we get a lot. And you and I have difference of opinion. He did it more your way, where me, I'm like, just use the hen house as the brooder from day one. How have the chickens been, in your opinion, as far as, you know, are they friendly towards you? Are they coming running to you like, hey?
Do they have different personalities? Who's the leader?
Yeah, so here, I'll show you. What was interesting is, as chicks, they were much more friendly. I think right now they're
teenagers.
They're not they're not unfriendly, but they're not super friendly. The two Orps is weird. Like, when you pick them up, they're fine being held like from sort of the breast, but they don't want to be picked up. The two Wyandottes, they'll never let you hold them like that. They have to be on your finger, like kind of roosting on your hand. And then honestly, the Rhode Island, I barely ever pick up. She really doesn't seem to want it. And the cream leg bar, she's kind of doing her own thing as well. So yeah, it's interesting. Like, throughout the day, they will go back in the hen house like 2 or 3 times throughout the day to kind of relax, I guess. I didn't know that was a behavior that they would do.
It's almost like they're practicing. I always find, like, before they get ready to lay, you'll find them do like some practice runs. At least that's what I remember.
Okay.
It's weird.
Okay.
Yeah.
And as far as their temperament goes, they are teenagers. They're adolescents. So they're going to be the least friendly right now. And once they start laying eggs, they're going to be more docile.
Okay. Yeah, I was thinking I would have to like get some mealworms or something like that and train them to come up to my hand. Because I do miss the phase where you could hold them and hang out with them, and they just don't seem to want it anymore.
Yeah, I was told from somebody, always feed them mealworms only out of your hands in the beginning. Because then they will learn to associate you with that.
So, Kevin, how old are your chickens right now?
You know, I think I got them when, I think it was mid or late February. So we're pushing on like maybe 2.5 months now, which is crazy because it seems like I've had them simultaneously, not at all, and also for like a year. I don't know. It's like a weird time warp thing going on.
Because I know people are going to ask a lot, especially to try to compare size. So what are we talking, 8, possible 10 weeks? 10 weeks old, you're thinking?
Something like that. Yeah, so, it's probably about 8 or 10, yeah.
So you're about almost halfway to that magical day. And I always joke around. I tell people, you always remember your first one. Enjoy that moment when you get that first egg. And I know you will. And I know you'll crush it with a killer TikTok or something like that.
Oh, yeah.
You always remember your first egg. And that's when it's all, in my opinion, it just comes together full circle, that satisfaction, especially when you start to get to consume the eggs or share them with neighbors, do educations. There's so many great things that are about to come with having when your chickens do start to lay.
Yeah, I'm excited because I think with 6, there's a chance I could get somewhere around like 2 dozen eggs a week maybe at the start. So for me, that's fantastic. I could definitely, with the produce that I'm growing here, I mean, that's a solid amount of food for myself.
Oh gosh, yes. So, and I would love it if you have the time to. I don't know if we have any specific questions. I would love.
We do.
Well, let's do that. If we have some fans that would love to ask Kevin. I remember when we did that show 5 or 6 weeks ago, where we cleaned out the hen house. One of the ladies like, "Oh my gosh, I'm Kevin's biggest fan." So I took a picture with her to share it with Kevin. She's like, "I can't believe you were there." It's just absolutely awesome.
Nice.
So we had a question on Instagram, and I think somebody also here, forgive me for not finding the name, asked, are you growing anything specific to feed to your chickens?
Ooh, that's a good question.
You know, nothing absolutely specific, but I'll show you over here in the pond. And I don't really know if there's a list of things you should or shouldn't feed them, but I do have this watercress in my pond right here. Oh, crazy. And it grows quite literally like a weed. So I harvested a bunch because it was taken over the pond and tossed it in there, and I don't see it. So I think they probably liked it. I actually harvested a ton of cabbages. I harvested like way too many. I had maybe 14 cabbages, each a couple pounds. And I think the chickens ate fully like 10 of those cabbages over the course of 2 weeks, which is crazy. So it's a great way for us because I'm growing for education here, so that means that I grow stuff sometimes that I don't like to eat or sometimes it harvests at a weird time. And so it's good to have chickens so I don't feel bad about wasting the food.
Absolutely.
They are such good recyclers. And all of that's going to turn into an egg or fertilizer. So nothing goes to waste.
Exactly.
I find mine love bok choy and kale. Just putting that out there. They seem to love that.
Yeah, which are both brassicas, as is cabbage. And I found them to go crazy for the cabbage. Like they just went nuts for it.
Yeah, and I think it's more of a timing thing. Those are vegetables that grow when nothing else is green. Or more of the cool season vegetables. And they love to have greens in the winter. Or all year, but it's just obvious that they get it in the summer.
So I'm going to be a little...
Do you guys think I should be growing something specifically for them?
I don't think so.
No, I do exactly what you do.
Yeah. And
whatever there's extra.
And I grow green stuff in the winter just for my chickens.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Got it.
So something I did want to ask, I don't want to take away from our viewers, but I'm dying to know this. Something
it is your show.
Yeah, Kevin mentioned something. Well, we talked about this, another little collaboration, doing some riffing. And because he's growing a lot there, and you know how we're huge fans of free ranging, we talked about potentially incorporating what we call chunnels or chicken tunnels. And I wasn't sure, Kevin, if you had any more thoughts about that, maybe questions, or now that you've had your chickens for a little bit, is there anything that you've kind of starting to solidify in your mind as you're adding to your gardens there with that entire project? And he froze up for a second, so we'll give him a second to come back in. He should probably hear us, but you did freeze. Again, I was just asking Kevin from Epic Gardening, Epic Homesteading.
Chicken Daddy.
Yeah, the Chicken Daddy. If you have never been to his social... Oh, I may have lost him.
He's probably going to call back.
Yeah, he'll call right back. All right, sorry about that, folks. Yeah, he talked about doing chicken tunnels.
Yeah.
And I thought, my God, what a great place to show off in an urban setting. He's right in the... I don't say city of San Diego, but it's very populated. And I just love what he's doing because what you see him doing in his yard, and you can go back and watch what Ingrid's done in her yard, that's the future.
Yeah.
And
I'm so proud of Ingrid.
Yes, it is. It is unbelievable until you go to Ingrid's house, how much work she's putting into it. I'm kind of like, geez, no wonder why I can't get her to do even maybe 60, 70 hours a week now. She's got so many plants to water. So there's Kevin calling back right now. And we'll get him back in.
The whole point is to not have the plants to water. We try to automate that stuff.
Hey guys.
Thanks for coming back.
Yeah, thanks for coming back. So I was just asking about the chicken tunnels. I wasn't sure if you had any new thoughts or questions on that.
Yeah. Sorry, my phone overheated on me. The chicken tunnels. So I do have the automatic chicken door, which it honestly looks like the chickens want to come out of right now. I don't know if you can see, but they're all huddled up right next to it.
Yeah.
And the positioning of the coop is one where I've got my shed here with this water tank, and there is a go behind, I suppose. And there's a lot of space behind here next to the fence. And so I thought maybe I could do some sort of channel to this back area because if we kind of walk this way, this is where I want my compost bins to eventually be. It's kind of against this back wall here. So I figured what I could do is this area could get channeled into and I could gate this off somehow. And then when they scratch through this area with all the scraps, I could just really easily toss them into the future composter here. What do you guys think about that?
I don't even think he needs a tunnel. I think they could have access free reign with that entire area, especially if it's compost.
Right. So the question comes up, you can fence it in and you want to make sure it's 6 foot tall or clip their wings. And there's debate about that. But, the thing about chunnels is it is a way, if done right, to give them almost 100% protection from hawks during the daytime, or you'd have to net that off. But giving your chickens, they're ready to rock and roll. And that's another reason why I wanted to bring this up. You can tell they're ready to get out. They will tear up everything you're trying to grow right now. And nothing will benefit them more than when you do allow them to be able to start getting out and scratching. You'll see it immediately, and it'll just bring a smile to your face. Yeah. So,
and if you can't let them out, bring that stuff to them like you have been doing.
Yep, keep them.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, right now I've been just bringing stuff in because I am afraid because there are hawks here, and I know for a fact I walked over holes that a skunk or raccoon dug just yesterday. And so I know that if I let them out, something weird's going to happen if they're unprotected. So I want to make sure I have something there because I do want to use that automatic door. I think it's amazing. I just want to make sure that they're protected if I do it.
We could actually put the door on the other opposite side.
Oh, yeah. We could swap.
He loves that automatic door. He was like a little kid. When we were out there, it was really fun. So another question I wanted to get to, because we got about another 15 minutes, which again, thank you so much.
That is really
and if you're
nice.
just joining us, we have Kevin from Epic Gardening, Epic Homesteading. If you haven't already checked out his YouTube channel, his TikTok, his Instagram, please definitely go there. To till or not to till? Okay, I'm fascinated by this because I'm not very smart when it comes to gardening. And was always taught you till it up. And what I want to share with people right now and get Kevin's opinion, because you are going to have, another form of black gold, if you will, where that chicken droppings is, I always say Miracle Grow has nothing on that nitrogen and that chicken droppings. What are your thoughts? What are you going to do when you do go to clean out your hen house? Are you going to be able to incorporate that into what you got going on there? And could you talk a little bit about your opinions on to till or not to till?
Yeah, so just a little context. I went to Charles Dowding's garden, who, if you're a gardener, you probably know Charles. He's a UK grower who is a big proponent of what he calls it no dig, but it is sort of a no-till method. He's got some of the most beautiful gardens you'll ever see, and he doesn't ever till or dig. And so you say, oh, well, how is that possible? And the reason why is he basically just top dresses his garden with compost every single year, maybe a few inches. I don't really know the exact amount, but he's also been doing it for many, many, many years. And so the whole idea behind this no-till is that what's actually feeding your plants in the soil is obviously the nutrients in the soil, but also all the different organisms that are sort of working together to break down that organic matter. And if you till, you're sort of shredding up the connections and some of those organisms and maybe disrupting that a little bit. So I definitely can see the argument for a no-till. And in fact, we really try to disturb our soil as little as possible. At the same time, if you're not living in a beautiful, British garden that's been cultivated for 15 years, and instead you're moving to a house like mine where it's basically just construction fill dirt in the back and has never really been improved, it makes sense, in my opinion, to till it up the first time at least, and then mix in a bunch of organic matter, try to correct any of the soil problems that you have, because there's not a lot of life in that soil to begin with to destroy by tilling. So that first time, I guess I call it like a one-till method. You come through, we did it to our backyard where we had all the cabbages and stuff, and the following season, which is what the cabbages came out of, was some of our most productive yet. And now, as we replant it, we aren't re-tilling it. We're just adding a little more compost on top. So I could see people going either way. I think the longer the garden exists, the less you should want to till it.
Also, I find that tilling is a great way to get weeds. It seems every time that I've tilled anything, for whatever reason, weeds pop up.
Right.
Like we had.
Yeah, because there's a seed bed, below the soil, when you're basically just saying, hey, it's time to sprout. Something changed in the environment. It's time to go. And yeah, I mean, there's a method called the stale seedbed technique, Ingrid, that market farmers will use, where basically they till on purpose, they water it, they let the weeds grow, they burn them off. They do that a couple times to try to force all those seeds to germinate and burn them out. And then from there, they minimally till. And so you're totally right. Tilling brings up a ton of weeds.
Yeah.
Those are two really good points.
Yeah.
So, and speaking of weeds, I did want to give a shout out. I tell you, the other person that I just had so much fun talking to, listening to, I actually got to sit on one of their marketing meetings, and I learned so much from just listening to them and talk, is the garden hermit, Mr. Jacques. Super great guy. If you guys didn't check out that video, off the cuff, we just decided to walk over to his chicken coop, and he truly did such a great job. And it is just, again, it's in my mind to see them take information from our videos and incorporate it all the way 3,000 miles away is just so awesome. And Jacques is really, really smart and did such a great job. And you guys just reminded me of a video that I found fascinating that he did is when we were talking about weeds. He goes, here's why I don't till up weeds or I don't pull weeds from his garden. He said it's a great moisture meter. And I just thought that was fascinating. Now, I don't know if that's right or wrong, but again, I'm just like, man, that just makes sense.
Yeah.
So, weeds are, like, a lot of gardeners will say, like, weeds are information. And so, like, the species of weeds that grow in a particular area tells you what the garden either has too much of or too little of. So some plants really want like an overabundance of nitrogen, and then they go crazy. Well, then if that's the species that's growing, you kind of know what's going on with your soil there, and it's the same with those moisture conditions that Jacques was mentioning. If you rip it out, you can kind of get a sense of how much that soil is clinging to the roots, and you can see quote in quotes how much water is in the soil.
Right,
Yeah.
right. So
I always ask people, what got you into chickens? But I think I know the answer.
For me,
Yeah,
yeah. I mean, for me, well, what do you think the answer is actually?
Jock.
Yeah. I think I've been into them, just like sort of anecdotally before Jacques, but having him like being able to go over and actually see his chicks for sure definitely helped to convert me. The one thing, I mean, I had watched your guys' videos, Matt, for maybe 3 years before we ever even reached out. I think it was all your classic tour videos from back in the day, that were just incredible. And I think for me, it's like the interconnectedness of the ecosystem with the chickens and the garden. It's like the most natural pairing of two sort of schools of practice, I guess, that could exist. So that's what really got me.
That makes sense.
So the other part I'm dying to know, and I know our listeners, viewers are going to want to know. So when it does come time to clean out your chicken coop, and we even have, someone brought for show and tell.
I wear poop around my neck.
You can't make this stuff up.
Yeah.
That's
My little jar
compost.
my little jar of hemp and chicken poop.
And she's brought in to show people how the chicken droppings will continue to break down into soil and that whole conversation. So I would love to know if you have an idea when it does come time to clean out your hen house. Are you gonna use it?
2-year-old chicken poop and
she's so excited
4-year-old chicken poop. I get really excited
Wow.
about chicken poop.
We have a poop expert over here.
Yeah, and I'm trying to get Kristen to give me that 4-year-old chicken poop.
Oh yeah, I got neighbors
that's
lining up
pretty
with
good
buckets.
stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So do you see yourself using it as a top dressing? You think you'll throw it into another compost? And this is a question we get a lot. Like, when is it a good time to introduce it to your garden? Is it too hot? You got to wait for it to compost a little bit more.
My thought is if I'm using, I think right now I have like half pine shavings, half of the hemp bedding. And then if you think about, I guess it's probably mostly carbon in that, right? And then the chicken droppings mostly nitrogen. I would imagine it makes sense for me to cycle that through at least a round of organic hot composting. So like bringing it up to temperature, 160 degrees, breaking it down. It's probably already pretty broken down because it's been sitting in there for such a long time. Maybe if it's like a year old or something like that. So my thought is using it as sort of as like a compost activator, throw it in there, cycle it into the next bin, and then top dress it out instead of putting it on directly.
Compost activator. I just pictured a compost superhero all of a sudden. Compost. That is amazing. I'm sure all our.
Sometimes you have a hot compost pile that goes cold, right? And to restart it, basically you need that core to have the right sort of ratio of carbon and nitrogen and the right microorganisms to start breaking it down again. And I've been told, at least, I haven't really tried it, that chicken manure is a great way to do that because it is so high in nitrogen and it's so bioactive.
Yeah.
So we have a couple more minutes left, Kevin. Again, thank you so much. I do want to, for our viewers that are taking the time to sit here and listen to all this, I can't thank you guys enough. Let's go ahead. I see you got a question ready from Julie.
Yes. So question for Kevin. Is there a DIY way to construct the raised metal beds like the ones you have? They're a bit out of my budget, but I love the way they look.
Yeah, as far as the galvanized ones that we have, I'll walk into the front and give you guys a sneak peek. I don't know of a way to DIY the corrugation on the sides, but if you want a more budget option, it's not going to last as long, but it still will work really well, is you can use those like those watering troughs that you get at a feed store.
Mm-hmm.
Those will work. It's just that the galvanization that they use is not quite as strong. And so you probably see them rust out in, I would say, maybe 3 years, whereas these can be 13 years old. They won't rust out. Obviously, they are somewhat pricey, but I don't know, unfortunately, Julie, of a way to replicate the corrugation.
Right.
Gotcha. Yeah, when you broke up there for a second, but we definitely got most of it. But look at that shot. I tell you, I loved every time I got a phone call. I just went. I went to his pond. That was my favorite area on his property. It was just incredible, and it's just so nice to see. And here's what I want to make sure everyone understands is what Kevin's doing and what we talked about, what Ingrid's doing. That is the future. Thank God. Why not take your property and be able to start growing stuff? And I'm a guy, I love the big green grass, but I tell you, I love that it is so doable. You got, in a way, you got pioneers reinventing it, if you will, and creating new products where it works for you. And again, that shot when he showed it, it's gorgeous. It just makes sense when you go there how beautiful it can also be.
Yeah.
Yeah. For me, it was like, it was trying to make the garden also look like a normal front yard, so to speak, where like you weren't looking necessarily at like sort of a sloppy, classic organic garden. Not that there's anything wrong with that. I actually really like the beauty of it. But if you're going to convince a ton of people to do it, it's got to be a little bit more mainstream to get people going, and then you can convince them to get a little more organic with it.
Right.
All right, we have another question from Cooking Sherry. As a new baby chick daddy, what is the biggest issue you have faced or lesson you have learned? Because she's a new chick mommy and she's neurotically cautious and researching everything. So she wants to know what you have faced.
Yeah, I will say I was the same at the start with the baby chicks. I was asking all my chicken friends, like, oh, what do I need to worry about? What kind of heater? The pine shavings, I heard they're bad. I heard that they're going to inhale the dust or whatever. And the pasty butt problem. I did not run into any problems at all. I mean, even in the baby chick stage, because I was debating guys raising from the pullet stage. I think maybe I even talked to you about that, Matt. Then I said, I think I have to go through the whole process. And I was worried because obviously, we're running a company over here. There's a lot going on, and taking care of the baby chicks I thought might be too much. And it really wasn't. It really wasn't that difficult. They seemed to kind of know what to do and seem to raise themselves. Maybe I got lucky. The only things I've really been stressed about is the transition from the old school like baby chick watering thing to the water bar. I was afraid they wouldn't know how to figure it out. And it took about 2 days, and I would go and press on the little watering nipples and try to make them see that the water came out. And then I started to get stressed that they knew the water was coming out of that red nipple, but they didn't know that their beak had to press the silver depressor. So they didn't know how to get more water. And so I was like, oh no. And then I re-put the old watering thing in there just in case. And then I took it back out. So I definitely was a little stressed about that. But I mean, to be blunt, I took the old watering thing out and they haven't died. So I think they figured out how to drink. So yeah.
Okay, so we have Fish and Matt Ryan, who also wants to know if you're going to get ducks now that you have a pond. He was asking about that, but I think that's putting the ducks before the horse, if it was. But anyway, he also asked, if I let my chickens free range in the backyard, will they instinctively avoid any plants that are bad for them, or do I have to remove any plants that may be toxic?
I'll throw that back to you guys because I don't really know the answer there.
Well, I've never had one die.
Yeah, I tell you, chickens
kind of the same. They seem to know.
Yeah, and that falls under like, you can't feed chickens apples or whatever, and I'm just like, my God.
I just throw it all out there.
And they know.
Yeah,
they
do.
know.
They don't like certain things. I don't know if it's because they're toxic, but they just aren't attracted to certain things.
Yeah, they don't eat potato peelings.
Yeah, they don't.
I threw those big grubs, those big white, ground grubs
I love
in,
those.
and mine didn't, is the thing.
Really?
Mine didn't. I threw a big old pile of them there. Maybe it's the size of them relative. They're not like fully grown yet or something. But
Yeah.
Jacques also said that his don't seem to like it. But I've also seen other people say that they devour it. So maybe it's just a personality thing.
Yeah.
Sometimes I found that my chickens wouldn't like something that all the chickens liked that everyone else had. And then when I brought new chickens into the mix, they liked those things. Like, for instance, blueberries.
Yeah.
They liked blueberries. And then now all of a sudden, all the chickens like blueberries. Because they are very much like high school girls and will like to do what the other ones are doing.
Yes.
So funny. You think it's like the top of the pecking order determines what they all like to eat?
Not always, because the new ones that you bring in are on the bottom. But they might be like, oh, what is this? I like this. And maybe because the other chickens didn't like it, it's being left for them. And then all of a sudden they're like, hey, wait, what is that? I think I want that now.
Yeah.
And it's interesting how. So I think your chickens will be eating those grubs soon. Don't worry.
Yeah, I think so too.
All right, so we're coming up. We only have a couple minutes left. So just, Kevin, again, thank you so much. I know we got more business to talk about. We are always here at Carolina Coops figuring out everything we can do to benefit our customers. And Kevin has brought up some ideas for distribution that we can make a win-win. So we're definitely going to talk about that. But again, Kevin, keep up the good work. Thank you so much for what you've done behind the scenes. You've done your part where I told Kevin, I said, you know what I really want is to be able to text you really anytime and pick your brain. That's what I really want. It's not so much for him to promote our product, this and that, which I love that he does because he just does it naturally, does it well, and he's doing it. He's living it. But he's just at a moment's notice, like, yeah, absolutely, and gives us suggestions and ideas. So I just want to, again, thank you so much. I can't wait till when we get back out to San Diego to maybe do another video or kind of do a follow-up on things. And I'm definitely looking forward to the chicken tunnels promo. Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, we do need to talk about a promo because
that Kevin could offer his followers. I mean,
yeah. And did we ever finalize that?
I don't know.
Yeah, we need to finalize. We are just all
also,
so busy.
I'm just gonna drop.
We'll come up with something.
Okay, when one of your Orpingtons goes broody next year, give me a call.
Okay.
Okay.
I will.
Okay.
I will for sure. Yeah, I have never dealt with that, so it'll be a time for sure.
You will love it. It's the best. It is the absolute best. All right, it's 12:45. Awesome. Kevin, thank you so much. We'll talk to you again soon.
Thank you so much.
You guys. Yeah, thanks for having me. Nice to see you.
Okay.
See you soon.
Take care.
Bye.
Whew. That was fun.
Yeah.
That was a lot. I tell you, I am reminded.
I love what he said.
Yeah.
Which part? Man, this is so great to learn stuff.
Yes. That's actually what I was just about to say.
As an adult, it's like you go day after day after day, and you don't really learn anything because you're just working or whatever. You're in your routine, and then when we have a guest on, and I'm like, it's a sponge, and I'm like learning again. It's exhilarating.
So I was just gonna say the same thing. It's just this is what I love about having chickens, business, today's technology, being able to team up with other experts, and it's our turn now to figure out what problems we're having today and solve them. And again, I am a huge believer in when you run a business, you got to figure out today what people are going to buy tomorrow. And I, without a doubt, see more and more people getting out of this mindset. You got to have this picket white fence and this perfect green grass and we're getting these calls too. Mackenzie even said, next week's show, we might be doing we've been getting a lot of doomsday phone calls, but it doesn't necessarily have to be all doom and gloom. But
I think the term is prepper.
Oh, I love the doomsday.
Homesteading. It's all, there's a lot of crossover.
Yeah, I think it's more,
days.
I think there's an extreme prepper mindset, or a doomsday prepper, a prepper, and a kind of homesteading anywhere.
Right.
Like we do in the city.
Yeah.
And it's amazing how much, and until you go to Ingrid's house, it's amazing how much they are able to grow.
I have a picture actually.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah, we
in
should
case
go.
you were talking as I was waiting for you, but now I gotta find it.
I do want to do a show from her house.
No, just turn it.
Just turn it on.
Just turn it on.
All right.
So there you go.
So
that is amazing.
And that was just a bare. Oh, Ingrid, tell us.
Well, that was. I mean, everything here was all grass and. I gotta turn this one off. Let's see. Oh no, that's not it.
Oh yeah, that was we had such a great show. Are we able to talk about the new conversation there, or do we got to hold off and wait?
I would hold off.
Hold it off. Okay.
So this is the side where the chicken coop is, and this is actually this year, so it's not even as lush as it normally is because this is at this time. I just took this the other day,
and that's their extended free range area, right?
Yep. So they have the upper level, as we call it, where the coop is, and then they have this lower level, and then if you can see the gate out to the left, that's the perennial garden. They even get to go out there if I'm watching. So that's all. It's amazing what you can do.
And you need the flowers for pollinators, right? For your vegetables.
Oh shoot! I just did this again. No,
what did you do?
Look,
I love Mike Trapp's comment.
Oh, I know it's the best.
Fix it or cluck it.
Fix it or cluck it. Coop rescue.
Yeah,
I need to patent that one.
Yeah,
trademark
we
that
might
one.
be stealing that one from Mike Trap. We'll talk. All right. Yeah. So if you didn't catch it, what we're talking about is hopefully we're going to be doing a video very soon where we're going to go out to a coop that someone else built. They paid someone to build it, and they're having a lot of problems. And then when he was telling me those problems, I'm like, oh yeah, I understand, because that's the difficult part of building a perfect chicken coop. And we're going to see if we can fix it or not.
Yeah,
and
there's so many things to consider.
Get it all on video. Is it hot in here? Is Non still out there? Can you turn the AC on? It is. I mean, I'm trying not to. I was trying to avoid this, and it doesn't look like I'm sweating. But remember last year about this time? It's been over a year. Mm-hmm. Been over a year now since we did our first show out in that blue room, sweating like crazy.
We got another one, Cluck It or Chuck It.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
That's a good one.
Yeah, not bad. Not bad.
Here we go. We want a question?
Yeah, so let's hammer out some questions.
Okay. I have a barn and want to turn it into a chicken and turkey coop. While fixing up the barn, I found raccoons been living in the barn. What do I do?
Get rid of the raccoons. Figure out how they got in
Eviction. Evict them.
there. You have
They will not mix well with your chickens. And
No. You definitely got to get rid of them. How to get rid of them? We can talk about that because that's probably really what he's asking, and I don't want to.
It's usually against the law to relocate raccoons.
It is for good reasons. A lot of people don't realize that. I know it sounds like the humane thing to do to trap them in a have-a-heart. I used to do it professionally, and you were not allowed to take them across county lines. The humane way was to euthanize them. But when you work from some pest control companies, budget's tight and that's expensive. So we used to have what we call our gas boxes, where you put them in a box and you turn the truck on, you hook up to the exhaust, and they go to sleep. It's painless. It's legal. I know it sounds awful, but it's actually legal. The worst is, my first mentor in bug killing, you drown them. I couldn't stand that. Couldn't stand. I just said, no, that is awful. So do what you want. You got to eliminate the pest so that, because they have learned now to come there. So if you want to be successful, trap them, have a heart.
There might be a furrier who wants them.
Yeah. Okay, what's a furrier? I can probably guess, like someone that makes things out of them, like a hat. Mm-hmm. Ooh, I think I have one of those, or Mikey has one of them.
So somebody was asking what kind of coop he got. So let's show Kevin's coop.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. We did have that ready to go. There it is. That is your go-to standard.
And do we know what? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No. I love it. That just makes it fun.
Yeah, it's a Carolina Coop.
Oh, okay, now you took it away from me. But
6x18.
That is a 6x18
and
run.
And what color is the roof?
I think he went with a galvanized, no? It was burnished slate. No.
No.
It looks charcoal.
It was like
Charcoal.
an ash gray or charcoal gray.
All right.
Yeah.
We're guessing.
It was matching. It was matching his shed, and I think he's going to do some white trim on the battens. He had said.
Yeah.
I do like the color, and if we have that information somewhere, I'd love to find out.
I do in my email.
Yeah,
Okay.
and just for the people that are watching right now, trust me, he has put on his predator apron. He has backfilled everything. There's so much to the story what went
Look
on.
how nice that ladder is.
He's also got the chicken run door.
Non, can you do me a favor if you're listening? Call out to the shop and have them bring in, if they haven't already packed it up, which we're doing expedited coops today, if there is the new ladder, the new ramp, we're going to call it. I mean, what do you want me to do? Here's the deal. You know what I learned?
Did you see how the chickens were like hanging out on the ladder?
I did, and I didn't want to be like, there you go, people, because we have the 2% of people that the squeaky wheel gets the grease.
I'm going to squeak more. That's what I'm going to do.
Yeah, we're not squeaky enough.
Yeah.
Oh, no. You guys are squeaky enough, trust me. Oh, my God.
I found my squeak. I'm sorry.
Oh, so, and I thought about offering the two different options, but we know when it comes to trying to standardize coops, it's just we cause more problems by giving more options. People are going to love the new ramp.
I don't.
There's many reasons from a business point of view why we're going to go back to it. I learned from day one, when I built my first coop for a show, I'm like, yes, this is going to be great. Everyone's going to love it. And a lot of people loved it. But that's when I found out, when you build chicken coops for a living, boy, you put a bullseye on your back and people are going to shoot at you nonstop, nitpicking everything.
That's why we have chicken police.
Exactly. But here's what I learned, is to learn from them. They made me better. And I remember saying after our first show, I said, okay, I got this. Next year, not one person's going to be able to nitpick anything. They still found things, but I learned from them, and they just made us better. And, God, the ramp, it's an important part. You got to make sure they can go up to the hen house. And you got your customers that are like, well, my chickens are old. They got arthritis, or I got silkies.
I think the silkies would do better on the old one.
Yes.
Oh, the current one.
No.
Because it has kind of an edge where the wheelchair ramp idea.
So, Nan, if you can call out, if they haven't already packed it up, but maybe next week's show, I will show
We
it
have
up.
See if I
Pictures.
can, let me see if I can find some pictures. Talk amongst yourselves.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna talk amongst
And
ourselves.
I see people on the chat talking about it.
Yeah, okay. Well, let's look at that because we will more officially bring in some pictures. I took some pictures, shared them with the
And
team.
I see people, we're a little behind, but I see people on the chat talking about using the back area of Kevin's coop for the channel. I mean, I don't know if you understood what I was saying. Was he doesn't need a channel.
No,
he
you're-
just needs to
you're-
put the door on the opposite side and just use that composting area for their extended run area.
Yeah, you're exactly correct. But I could tell there's two things that happened when we talked about this out there. One was if you let your chickens free range, you definitely have to contain it because he's got so much gardening going on.
Yeah.
You got your neighbors. But once I mentioned chicken tunnels, he was like a little kid. And you could just, again, I get it. All of a sudden, it's like a disease. A million
Yeah.
ideas come to your mind.
It is fun.
It is so much fun. And I said, do it. I said, these will be awesome videos. Maybe we'll do another collaboration. We'll come out and build them together or whatever. Ingrid, don't worry about it.
I can't find mine. I
Yeah,
don't know
thank
what
you,
my
though.
password
Ingrid was
is.
giving it a hell of an attempt. Just click on.
I'm
There
doing
you go.
it.
Slow. There we go. So maybe next week we'll show you the new ramps. If there's people out there like, no, I want the old school one, then fine. We'll figure it out, and that's what we do. Ooh, we got a question. All right.
How wide should the tunnels be for chickens if you want to make them most comfortable?
See, that's the thing about the channels is typically they're just wide enough to go somewhere, but not necessarily. In my mind, I envision channels or tunnels being just a way to, like a pathway to go to a larger area.
Yes.
They really are not going to want to just hang out in the tunnels. I mean, yes, they will, but
Especially if it's big enough.
right.
Well, you can
right.
also direct them with the tunnels, and don't have to make it super narrow. You could make it big enough to fit like 2 chickens or 3
Yeah.
chickens wide, and put them towards an area that they can destroy.
Right. So my answer too for Richard is I would go as wide as you can that makes sense based on your area, your budget, and it's super affordable to make channels. But, and there's a huge but right now because I don't want, again, I know people are going to rip me up one side down the other, the 1%ers or whatever, that are like, oh, Matt, you shouldn't have said that. You got to be careful of if they're really young. They might not be able to get out, but I'm telling you, when they're young, especially hawks, they can just pick up on that much easier of a snack, and they will try, if they can reach in, they will try to pull them out. So your choice of material is going to be very important. And I agree. I think the concept should be, it's not a great alternative to free ranging or whatever, but it's better than nothing. But you use that to go to another area so you can bypass maybe a particular area you don't want them to go in, but you can maybe have at the end where it is a garden area that you may not be growing, you want them to go in there and start rototilling, which they're great at.
Right. And you can rotate them. You can have it closed off for the growing season in one area and then open up another area at a later time. So you can have these cycling, areas on and off.
So are we doing YouTube Chicken Police today or
and
no?
Ingrid, I sent you the pictures
I'm
of the ladder.
I'm in
if
too
you
good of
can
a mood.
access your email.
I'm in too good of a mood to do it.
Yeah, I don't have
Okay.
anything prepared.
So if we can go when you're ready, bring up the comments, and I would love to. God, it's already 1:00. I can't believe it's Friday already.
What are we going to do with these packages? Did you want to open those?
What are those? See, I'm a little nervous. I'm a skeptical kind of person. Like, why
not?
all of us? Okay, let's see. I have no clue what's in there. I have
Well,
no
let's
idea.
talk about, I just brought up the comments, so let's talk some
Thank you.
comments.
Thank you. All right, bring that up. Make it bigger so everyone can see it.
Yeah,
Again,
and
I
Ingrid,
thank everyone
if you
for
can
taking
get
the
your
time to
email,
be
We
here.
have the ladders because I really do want some input.
I do too. That would be great for next
Unless
week's
you've
show. And
already
have we
made your decision.
finalized? Have we? Yeah, I have. We have not finalized next week's show.
No.
Are you going to be here?
I don't. There are so many things going on. I have to go out to California, and we are donating a chicken coop to the Mendocino County Jail, if I said that correctly. Love what the sheriff is doing out there. I believe Sheriff Turner, I believe his last name is. And they're going to be doing a documentary on the donation, and I'm going to be out there helping the inmates, the residents, whatever the right term is to call them, to help them put this coop together. And they are very excited. And I love this because it's, in my mind, the right thing to do. And we're going to talk more about that when we're out there. But I think I will be here by the end of next week. So with that said, I do want to do. Okay, that's your cutest. No, Matt, preppers. I get it. Okay, the preppers, the homesteader. Because last week we talked about
Water glassing.
water glassing eggs. I have no clue what that is. I am trying to get Mackenzie down here because she said she's getting a lot of calls. I'm assuming you are as well.
She does water glassing already. She's like, oh yeah, I water glass my eggs every winter.
She never ceases to amaze me.
I
It's just-
know.
Well, that way you can have your fresh eggs in the winter when your hens aren't laying.
Right.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. So we have to do this. So guys, if you're not sure what we're talking about, next week's show, I hope that we can do it. I'm sure I will be here, and I would like to.
I will be here.
It's trending. People are freaking out because you got food factories blowing up. You got all these
Well,
other
we've been told to expect something. I mean, even
I'm telling you, people.
Even our president has said we're to expect food shortages or something like that.
Yeah, that is scary.
Yeah.
That is scary.
So
And-
it's no secret that we may want to think about being prepared.
Yes. And there's no better way than having chickens. I mean, there's a lot
supply chain, whatever.
yes. And I mean, that's amazing to be able to store your eggs because, once you freeze them, they're only good for baking, supposedly.
Yeah. And even
But
then.
if you put them in water, you're saying, and you store them a certain way,
I think you put lime in them. It's a
it's a whole process.
Yeah.
All right,
It's
for
like
next
a-
week's
it's like
show,
canning. It's like a
next
canning
week's
thing.
show,
Easy process.
you guys are going to teach me, and we're going to teach everyone that's listening. Jetta must just got out of school. How to preserve your eggs in water. There she is, right on cue. Just have a seat over there, babe. I do love it. She's like, "What can I be on the show?" And I was telling her about Kevin.
We have some more questions.
All right, well, let's get to it. I'm just trying to kill time.
I know. Oh, okay. So this one's for.
we don't kill time on the show.
Yeah, really.
Waiting for a question to come in.
I'm a new chick mommy and I'm dealing with pasty butt on 4 chicks. I'm giving them electrolytes, but is there anything else I can do to stop this from happening?
What
Kristen.
causes pasty butt?
It just happens. I'm gonna have to refer to the book, but some people say it's overcrowding.
Matt hasn't.
Wait.
Rapid temperature change.
Is that what it is?
So check to make sure they had the
And
ability.
pasty butt, for people that don't know, is just the term for all the poop like clumping on the
Yeah,
back
imagine
fluff.
if you didn't wipe your butt and all of a sudden you got to poop again and it just
And
can't come out.
And then it just piles on top of the old poop. And honestly, when I first had chicks, I would gently use warm water and warm cloths and try to soften it. And now I just wait for it to dry and just pick it off. It's like pulling off a Band-Aid.
So obviously I'm all about prevention. So that's how we got to make sure we clear it up. But I have read and been told that if you have a brooder that is just for whatever reason they can't get warm when they want to, that rapid temperature change can cause pasty butt. And you may see it especially once you get them, because if you got them through the mail or they've been at an agricultural store, a farm store, who knows what's going on there. So I tend to see that if you are going to get pasty butt, you see it in the beginning, and it may not be so much something you're doing wrong. Might have been something that's been going on before you got them. But make sure you address it because it will kill them.
Do
And
electrolytes do anything,
that I don't know.
Kristen?
I wouldn't think so.
Right. It's not going to, I mean,
I
the
don't think
electrolytes
that's-
might make them a little bit stronger, but I don't know that this is not a immune response. This is a response to something else.
Yeah, and this book says it's actually called pasted vent.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, we
Yeah.
like to.
I've
We
never-
like to class things up in the chicken world.
Yes, we do. and here it says only in chicks, and because I've never ever had the problem. It's always on the fluff, the little chick feathers. I've never had to pick it off of real feathers.
So
It says up to 10 days old.
Yeah, keep the questions coming. Hopefully we
So-
helped you that answered that.
come to Middle Tennessee and save our coop. Wife started it 2 months. It's her project. I'm trying not to take over, but she needs help. There's your show.
I'm telling you, I know. Like, I don't want to give up too much of what's going on because for many reasons, but I so believe in that concept. And I know people would love it because they're going to learn, they can relate, and they can execute what they learned once the show is over. And I think we're going to end up financing it ourselves. Hey, Matt, I want to build my own coop. Should I put 4x4s in the ground like a fence post to hold it down in case of high winds? If you want to, and it's in your budget, and you understand what you need to understand about doing that, yes, you're basically cleating it down into the ground. I can tell you there's more affordable ways to keep it down in high winds, but that is your go-to standard building practice, just like you would do a pole barn. You can also pour a concrete footer if you didn't want to put the 4x4s into the ground, worry about them rotting over years, and then have a good anchoring system, a hold down system for the 4x4s into that concrete footer, that pillar.
Wouldn't you put like a fence post usually does have concrete to hold it down? Like you dig it down and put concrete.
And then there's that new expanding foam.
Oh, that is true. Yeah, I bet you that stuff is killer. It
And
makes.
I love the Tapcon screws. Is that what they're called? The long screws?
But wouldn't the foam be toxic in the soil?
I don't know.
Yeah. Great question. Great
I don't know. I
question.
would just think that that's
Well,
such
yeah.
you know, I mean the concrete does, but they've changed like cinder blocks and concrete makeup so that it's not as bad. But I don't know about the foam.
Luckily, we don't get reports of your coops blowing away very much.
No, only twice. And I do love when they came in because I get to say, I told you so. The coop stayed together. And it just, you got to be careful. Yeah, when you have a run, that's a giant parachute. And there are ways to keep it from blowing away. Some that are more expensive than others. But if you are building from scratch on site and you have the ability to anchor it down into the ground, you got to make sure you go below the frost line. At least I would highly recommend going below the frost line. And if you got one post going below the frost line, you're going to want them all going below the frost line because the last thing you want is one side of it heaving up and the other side doesn't. Make sure you're using ground contact rated pressure treated lumber or it's not going to last as long as regular pressure treated lumber. Make sure you got a stone base and then put a concrete footer down so it sits so it won't settle.
But we don't do all that.
Because you don't need to.
Oh.
I prefer the
You
boat.
have to be careful because you're the expert. When you start saying stuff like that, people are going to expect that they have to do it.
No, because when we do have this conversation with customers, I explain all the pros and cons, and I prefer the boat in the ocean technique or doing an entire concrete perimeter. So there's pros and cons to it all, and you just got to understand the details that are going to be involved.
So the same guy whose wife is building her coop, it says, my wife's coop is 2 feet off the ground, 4x4s just sitting on blocks and nothing tying it to the ground. How should she keep it from blowing away?
It may not.
Make it heavy.
You got
Man,
well.
I've got one in my backyard. It hasn't blown away.
I know. But the best way
The
to
risk
do
is
it
very small.
is to
Well,
tell.
Unless you're in some specific
he's in
area.
Middle Tennessee, so they could get, I mean, we're having a tornado watch today here.
So, and I don't want to confuse people. And here's where I have an issue.
Could happen.
If you anchor it down to the ground and you have a tornado to come through, and I've seen tornadoes rip a Lowe's apart, shred the beams, okay? And the reason why is it's holding down so hard, so well, and you're putting that much more pressure on the roofing system where if it is going to blow away and you don't want it to blow away, I get it. So I know it's going to sound confusing, but let it go in one piece and then it's going to go somewhere and then the wind's going to stop and then just bring it back. And we've seen customers do exactly that. But if you do anchor it down, you just got to make sure you understand the accordion effect and the domino effect of when you might have this awesome anchoring system, but if you're building your own, you got to make sure it's all rated all the way up to withstand the potential uplift. So it gets a little complicated. It's not awful, but you just got to make sure everything matches or you're going to be wasting your time.
I'm the lazy chicken owner, so I don't do it.
So I prefer the boat in the ocean technique. And then if you're really worried about it blowing away, tether it so that if it is going to move a little bit, it moves together, but won't go away on you. So at least you're allowing a little bit of give, a little bit of resistance. It's like if you jump off a high platform, you're not going to just want to lock your legs out. You're going to want to have some give. In my mind, I've seen it work that way where you tether it. So you can take hurricane stakes, you can take dog stakes, and their corkscrews go down in the ground. Yeah. You tether it with like a 1/4-inch cable and crimp it with ferrules. They got the clamps. There's many different things you can do, or anchor it down to concrete where it's extremely heavy.
Or move into a non-tornado area. That's my preference.
I tell you, it's been scary. There's been a lot of tornadoes out there recently.
So what's the preferred angle or slope or rise or pitch for a chicken ramp or ladder?
what is the preferred angle or slope? So I guess that's the big question right now.
It is.
I love Mr. Dibna's mind and how he thought about it. And we talked about it last time. And
Explain to people what you're talking about.
Well, see,
you just go off and
well,
nobody knows.
if you want to know, go watch last week's show if you don't already know. But I bet you our top fans are like, oh, yeah, we remember. And I even thought about having him on because he is an engineer. And it is fascinating as a lot of times they drive me nuts. It is interesting to still hear what they had to say.
I've had chickens for many years, and I've never had a chicken have trouble getting up the ladder. And not only that, but they rarely use the ladder. They don't use 1 step, 2 steps, 3 steps. They have wings, and they like to use their wings, and they flutter up to midpoint or even higher.
Exactly. I mean, they didn't have ladders in the woods before Coops were
Right,
invented.
right.
You're so correct.
So most of the time, this is not an issue. This is just one of these things that we fine tune or we overanalyze. But
Which I
most
love.
of the time, matter of fact, the coop at my daughter's house, I did an experiment and I didn't put a ladder on it at all.
And
I had just a perch hanging down from the chicken door, and everyone could get up there except for the bantam frizzle without proper wings. But everybody else just flew up to the perch.
And honestly,
in the
that's got to be
henhouse.
way more natural to them.
Right.
That's got to be in their
It freed up
instincts.
the floor space.
So
too.
we could really make the argument having a ladder or a ramp is actually the worst thing to do. But you got the world that we're trying to make happy that knows everything. What do we know? But I love going against the grain. But I also, God, especially with our production coops, have the one size fits all. So to answer the question,
What is the slope what's the angle that you normally
I have
do?
seen 1-to-1 work well. So if you're 4 foot up, 4 foot out, that's gonna be 45 degrees. I've seen that work well.
Is that what we have?
That's
with
what we
the
have now.
current ladder.
Yes, and you just saw that in the video with Kevin, and they will use it with
I
no
like
problem.
that.
And I
Because
do
it
too.
doesn't take up as much space in there.
However, industry standard supposedly, or you read a lot of these books, they're going to say 2-to-1. So if you're up 4 foot, you better come out 8 foot. So what we've done is we've changed to a 6-foot ladder. So it's not as steep, and
I just want to see these chickens that can't handle the other ladder.
oh, have fun. Oh my gosh. Oh, okay. We'll give you the customer's numbers. We got a couple that it's actually kind of sad. They obsess over it so much that I think they're driving themselves crazy. And I'm like, gosh, if they understood that you got silkies, they're gonna have issues. But
Speaking of silkies,
oh dear.
I hatched some silkies for you.
What?
that
No,
I was
no,
gonna
no.
give to your daughter because you can't say
Okay.
There's no
no.
chicken coop here.
Oh, there's none.
I know. So, and then my neighbor's daughter fell in love with them. So,
Okay.
you're not gonna get this batch, but one day I'm gonna force some silkies on you.
All right. If they're silkies for my princess, then she can have them. That's
So
different.
Michael Mueller said, "What do you do for temporary housing for chickens while waiting for the coop?"
Yeah, I don't
Oh,
blame
someone
him.
called
Where
about
are
that
we with
today.
that?
Yes, and that's what that customer asked.
Yes.
We
Gosh.
have
So
an
what do you
idea.
suggest? What do you suggest? There's lots of things to suggest. What do you suggest?
We have some plans in the works that's something like an A-frame tractor.
It is pretty slick, isn't it?
Yeah, we have some details to work through on that. I've told people, see if you can do something temporary, and sometimes the cheap tractor supply coops might work for a season, but they're gonna fall apart.
And the predators blow right through it. You gotta be.
There's some
gotta be
risk
careful.
there. Maybe you've got a kid's playhouse you're not using that you can retrofit or get off some sort of used website for. Sometimes there's a dry spot like underneath your screened-in porch that you can use temporarily, or you can have a dog kennel in the yard, but if it's not secure, put all your chickens in a box and bring them in every night. Because they're teenagers and they're just going to sleep.
Yes, and
So-
I hope soon we have our emergency temporary coops. And if you do get into a pinch, we've done our expedited, hold on, slow down. I see so many great questions and comments. Double expedited build. So especially with Mike, I know we just got to, what a crazy time it is right now with what we're dealing with the turnkey schedule, the custom coop builds.
And a lot of people have teenage chicks right now.
Yeah.
Our chicks are growing up and now they're feathered and now they're
the bathtub
ready to
calls.
get out.
Yeah.
Can can you talk more about white glove service?
Okay, well, I did see that. I want to make sure we didn't miss that.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, so the white glove service, the turnkey service, yeah, that's just us. We do everything. We bring it to you. We put it together.
We have full-time employees that travel the country
Yeah,
day in, day out, week after week.
Yeah, we actually 2 road crews now, again, finally, just to try to keep up with demand, which is great. I'm so thankful how busy we are, but it has been cumbersome and tricky. But if it's in your budget, is probably the best way to go because we try to make it so easy to put any of our coops together. It's still, you got to have some knowledge, you got to have some skill.
It's going to take some time.
Yes, and it's going to take some time. That's the other big one. We do it so much that we could put it together in like a tenth of the time that it might take an average person. But if it's in your budget, you have so many benefits. One, you don't got to do a darn thing. You get to meet us in person. You get to sit back and watch and probably learn a lot. And for the most part, every single one of us are chicken people or have been around this business long enough working here. They can answer a lot of your questions. Okay. I do love that. Steve says, should I give a bad attitude chicken a Snickers bar? That's funny.
Let's see. Everybody's just so they're talking about somebody was talking about movable fences.
Thank you, Maureen. Loves the show. We're helping people look forward to a Friday, as if we didn't all want to look forward to a Friday.
Yeah, don't we all? Isn't that
yes,
normal?
yes. And I think it was another one of our big fans said, you know what, this show is so fun. You guys need to make it 2 hours long. I couldn't agree more.
Oh, that was Matt. Fishing Matt Ryan.
Thank you, Matt.
I'll pay you later.
What is the book you are referencing?
Yes, we have this on the website.
And all right, so we get paid when we refer to this now?
We get a little piece when they buy
that's
it
fine.
from the link.
Because
yes.
every little bit counts, because this show is expensive. This is a great book. Do you like it?
So it's tell people what it is that are on a
And it's
podcast, the Chicken Health Handbook.
I always forget the podcast. The Chicken Health Handbook by Gail Damerow. I just got a great idea. Let's get Gail on the show.
Gail writes some serious stuff. Like she has the duck
there
book
she is
that
right
I
there.
like, and the story. They're typically called the Story's Guide, Story Publishing.
Mm-hmm.
So she does the duck one, and remember you made
Let's
fun of me
get Gail.
for,
Can you contact Gail?
You made
Gail,
fun
if you're
of me for
listening, I'm gonna have
reading
my
the chicken
people
one
contact your people.
cover to cover.
4
times.
Yeah, I know that's so
I
funny.
like how your people are me.
Yes. Can you please contact Ingrid, please? No, let's reach out to. I think that'd be fun to have an author, and it is on my bucket list. I want one day to have our own book of something, to be able to share what we have learned over the years to help other people.
So Emily says we have built our chicken coop similar to. Are you looking at that? Okay.
All right, you pulled that one in.
No.
It's already on there.
No, go
Okay.
ahead.
We have built our chicken coop similar to the American coop. I would like to add on to the run. Where do you recommend we extend the run?
To the ends. That's the easiest way.
Yep.
Yeah, we've been selling them. They've been going out. People have been wanting, and you can buy just a run extension. But if you built your own, it's going to be easier just to continue building your own. Just continue going or go perpendicular. I mean, there's so many things you can do. If you go perpendicular and you have a couple valleys or maybe one valley, it's going to get tricky. I guess just.
Sometimes I'll recommend if someone wants a second coop, they've gotten one of our coops, they want a second coop, build a chicken tunnel and connect the two.
Yeah. We just had one of those go out. So I love the jokes. We should start a segment, I'll never forget. I think one time we asked Jetta to do a joke. Do you remember that joke? You did? You did a joke like last year, and it was pretty funny. But look at this one.
Jetta, come over here and read it.
You want to read this one?
James Palmer, read that.
You see it right there?
out loud.
Yeah. Out loud.
You use your big girl voice.
What does the last word say?
Yeah, I know that. I was just.
Okay.
Go ahead, Matt.
All right. I saw a ghost in my chicken coop once. It was a poultrygeist. That is kind of funny. That's cute. I was hoping, Ingrid.
Yeah, I don't know if I have laugh. I need to find that.
Yeah, I know. But look, we got our shortcuts too, where I can do that. My favorite, Uh-oh.
Hey. Oh, my God.
Sorry.
So somebody did shout out, hey, again from Denmark, Ingrid, your tusen tak was spot on. Is hemp... tusen tak means 1,000 thanks in Norwegian and I guess Danish too, because my family's from there. Is the hemp bedding all the same or is the quality different from brand to brand?
Okay, I want to
And
share
go.
something. I want to
great
share some. Boy, what a way to end the
I
show.
think we did talk about it. We talked about the moldy one last week.
Okay, but I learned a lot, and we've talked about this a lot, and I love how much people want to really know about betting, because you wouldn't think it'd be that big of a deal, but my God, I think I spend just as much time talking about betting and researching betting and whatever than I do the chicken coops. So we had a customer send us in 4 samples from a competitor, and boy, she wasn't kidding. It didn't look bad, but when we opened up the box and opened up the bag, the smell was horrific.
What if it's just a different company?
Well,
It is.
It was a different company, and it had horrible mildew, horrible musty smell. So we finally got one of our shipments in from the new company that we're trying out of Canada, to help make sure we keep the price down and do our part to minimize carbon and things like that, carbon footprint, and always trying to make it better where they're going to make our own special blend, yada, yada, yada. Well, a couple bags, when they came in, they were damaged, so they're already open. I went up and smelled it, and it actually smelled really good. I've never had that happen before. It smelled really good, and I hope that's a good sign. Mm-hmm. But I called them up. I said, listen, why in the world would hemp all of a sudden get a moldy, musty smell? And he said, this is going to be true no matter who you buy from, for the most part, if they did the process right. If that bag, okay, breaks open, it's going to naturally suck in moisture. And is that bothering you?
No, it was right next to the mic.
Yeah, but
Yeah. Oh my God.
Okay.
It potentially could trap that moisture and cause that moldy smell. So it may not necessarily be the company that produced it or the company that sold its fault. So here's the point. If you get a bag of hemp, make sure it's sealed. If for whatever reason you cut it open to check it out and you don't seal it up airtight, you need to use it. So there is I don't want to say shelf life. What would you call it? Open container life?
I don't know if that's necessarily true. I've had an open bag in my garage for 3 years and it's still fine.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. And your daughter got a new bale.
Yeah.
And she's going to try. Did you open it up? Did you do your homework yesterday?
No.
Why not?
I sat in a clover patch with my neighbors in their garden.
So I want you, when they open it.
My time was well spent.
I want you, when they open it, to we got to start testing it out. So we do have, is hemp considered back in stock yet or no?
No.
Gosh, all right, I'm not even going to get into all that. Our truck comes next week. It'll be back in stock. We got the boxes on the way. We are ready to get rocking and rolling. So let's finish up with some more questions.
Yeah,
and
Kelly
comments.
said that she got her book this morning, so I guess she ordered it after we recommended it last week's show, the book that you were holding. The book.
The health book.
The chicken health book.
That book?
Oh, awesome.
It's a great reference. And
really is.
it's one of those books that you like to have on hand, but you hope you never have to use it.
Right. Jen says our temporary coop is made with cattle posts, sturdy recycled wired fencing, and tarps. Not pretty, but it serves a purpose.
Yeah.
I mean, you can, yeah.
You absolutely can. Yep.
Just be careful with the tarps because you don't want anything getting in there at night.
Right.
Yeah. See, I mean, I don't want to confuse people, but that is
know.
important. I see a lot of the hoop coops, and if I even did that, I would be crucified. Yeah, you potentially going to make it warmer. They use the cattle wire. They're going to blow right through that tarp. They're going to be in there. You got to be careful.
This one's for you, Matt.
Oh, Benjamin. We used to see that name a lot. I think it's been a while. I was on a time constraint, so I couldn't purchase one of your coops. But I watched every video you have put out, and I learned so much. Thanks for providing so much knowledge, ventilation. You're welcome, Benjamin. I mean, that's why we love to do it. Because here's the thing, and when you ask Kevin, what got you into chickens, you were exactly right. That's what happens. You go to your friend's house, you go to your neighbor's house, whatever. You buy a house, all of a sudden there's a coop there. But you go to your friend's house, and they have chickens, and it's like, oh my gosh, I never thought about this. And maybe they built their own coop. But you're there visiting and you don't have the time or the knowledge to build a coop. But that's where they're going to be like, you got to learn from Carolina Coops. You got to call Carolina Coops. So
yeah, chickens are just an extension of the garden as well.
Mm-hmm.
So
Well, it's good for the garden.
Dixie asks, can you buy your hemp and use it for guinea pigs and bunnies?
Yes. Someone knows all about that, huh?
I have two.
Yeah, you absolutely can.
Yeah. So Mike said that they may kick it out, but it depends on what kind of enclosure you have as well.
Exactly, yep.
You kind of want to deep litter that stuff as well.
Yep.
Okay. I'm really curious as to what's in those boxes.
Oh, I
yeah.
forgot. Hey, Jetta, can you do us a favor? Go grab.
And Ingrid, can you pull up the ladder? Man,
Is it really bothering
okay.
you?
I'm just like
No,
a
you know, I
broken
think
record
next week.
here.
I think next week.
She wants to tease the ladder.
I mean, because I
There is a great picture of it.
All right, I'll do a screen share then.
You see the hemp in the background, the new hemp. All right, so we're gonna do
All
a
right,
screen
well,
share.
don't
I'm
show
getting
that.
hungry. What's where? Don't show what?
People are gonna be like, I thought you didn't have the hemp.
well, it's just 2 pallets, right? Or just a small.
No, we got 3 pallets in. We got about
Okay,
150
so
bales
here's
in.
the ladder.
Okay, there it is. Oh, look at that. How did you just do that real quick?
I have
That's
no idea.
that's pretty cool.
Well, because I emailed it to her.
No,
No.
that's not what I'm saying. All right, Jetta, here, hold on a minute. Go off to the side, baby. And that's for. Well, I got Ingrid's box here. Okay, so there you go. You happy now?
That's the ladder.
Hey, don't. You're getting distracted. There's your ladder.
I know. I already
Ramp.
seen it. I know I don't like it. So I
But
want,
you insisted that we
I
bring
know,
it
I
up.
want
There's a
people to
picture.
see it.
People wanted to know what it looked like.
All right, well,
Yeah,
let's-
look how long that thing is.
and don't forget the podcast people that don't see the video. That's why you got to come here so you
okay,
can see
so
it live
it's
every
a,
Friday.
what is it? Is it a 2 by?
What you're looking at is a 6-foot long ramp. Okay, and here's why
How
we're
wide
doing
is it?
10 inches.
Sheesh.
Sheesh is right. Here's what we decided to do. We use a lot of 2x6s.
And it's got a bunch of.
That
what-
looks expensive.
It is. That is true. That is true. And it may or may not affect the price. Okay. Here's the deal. I'm hoping we don't have to increase the price because we do have a handful, and I hate it, rejected 2x6s. And 2x6s are very expensive. And even that is Doug fir. So what I realized is we can rip off one of the edges. That's most likely the reason why it got rejected. And if it has a little bit of crook, a little bit of bow, we can take that bow out by having the joining other 2x6, which is now a 2x5. And 2 pieces of wood, 2 separate pieces of wood come together. You can stabilize it. So you got a nice wide board, use up rejected lumber, and we have so many drops from when we make roost bars that are exactly 1 inch thick. So we just make them back into steps. So it's not going to have nearly as steep of an angle. It's got to make everyone happy.
But it's going to be longer in the run.
It is longer in the
You can
run.
trip over it.
It may not look as cute. I love it. I want people to see it's not that easy. You would not believe how hard it is to make the here. Jetta.
So
Are we going to get the poop build-up calls again?
Oh, no, that was accident. That was accident. That
Oh,
was
Jenna
accident.
gets a T-shirt.
Hold on.
Wait,
Nan,
is that my free T-shirt?
no, Nan, what is this you? Where is this from?
No, it was just.
What
it was
from?
on the loading dock when I
No,
came
yeah,
in
Jody
this
brought it
morning.
in.
Yeah.
Oh, this is from Jody?
No,
No.
she brought
my
it
gosh,
in.
you
It
guys
was
give
sent
that
to
to
us.
Ingrid. All right,
So
we're
can
gonna,
we do it?
we're gonna have an
Oh my
unboxing.
God.
We have
Can
no.
we do a screen share with Ingrid?
Who's it? She won't.
No.
Who's no Jetta? Okay,
One of
take
those
the
is
box.
Read
to
the address.
There is no address.
There is an address.
That's what's
There
making
is
me.
an address.
There is?
Yes.
I just saw it.
Okay, Jetta, take that to Ingrid, please.
Oh my gosh. So,
Poop build
John
up.
asked, "How much space do I need behind?" Thank you. How much space do I need behind the coop to be able to open the doors completely to clean the hen house?
Minimum to make yourself comfortable. No, Jetta, bring that box over here to Kristen. Oh, I know life is so rough. I would say minimum 4 foot. You have to have at least 2 foot, or the doors aren't even gonna open.
Do you see who it's
Oh,
from? It's from This Bird's Absurd.
I'm so sorry. No, hold on. We got it on, and I'm slightly jealous. Why don't I have a box?
I know who it's from.
Oh, attention. Oh, it is attention me. Look at the beautiful.
I know, and it says one says for Ingrid and one says for Kristen, and I know who it's from because I
This
looked at the address.
Okay, so we have some unboxing, but well, hold on. It's addressed to me. Why are your names on it?
No, attention.
That just means
But
because they know
it
we
says
don't
for
work.
Kristen.
We don't. We're not.
Hold on. This.
I love the tape. Look at the
I
tape.
know.
The
Okay,
tape's
who-
got little chickens on it.
It is great. I'm really
This
feeling
Bird's Absurd.
Oh, that's funny. Okay. Any guesses? What's going on in here?
I don't know what's in it. I have a big guess on who it's from.
Who's it from?
Francine. That's my guess. Our friend Francine.
Oh, that's so okay.
That's my guess.
That's
because I
her
know-
guess. Maybe not for sure. Francine's a huge fan of ours.
Go ahead, Kristen. You got a scissor. I don't have a scissor.
Hold on. Can I see it before you see it?
It's not a chicken, is it? Because Sean will kill me.
This is Go ahead.
Oh, what? Is it scary?
Well, yeah, open
Is
it.
it
Hold on,
embarrassing?
No. It's. Oh my gosh, this is so cool.
Wow.
Wow. Oh my, there's all kinds of goodies.
That is incredible.
This is cool. I've never seen this before. Of course, there's your Bantam Frizzle. Wow. Okay, I'm jealous, but this is awesome. So who is it from?
Oh.
Wait, can I see it?
Okay, it's from thisbirdabsurd.com. She's also on Etsy. And this
Okay,
is a, let's say, an adoption.
Oh, okay. So this is not from Francine. I'm sorry. I just saw New Hampshire. I figured. Yes, this bird's absurd, and she's
it
an
comes with an
artist. Oh my
egg.
god, this is amazing.
This
so
is
what we
is
have
this
for
hand-
the podcast listeners is feels like real feathers.
It's so amazing.
Oh my god,
But
I
it's
love
a,
the little
it's
frizzle.
a stuffed chicken and a stuffed frizzle bantam.
It says house chicken. So is it a house
Can you
chicken
go
and a
ahead?
purse
Can you go ahead
chicken?
and can you go ahead and read that?
Dear Kristen, I can't begin to express how much I enjoy watching you and Matt on Video Chicken every Friday. You are easygoing, informed, experienced, and just flat fun. Baby chicks everywhere, HOA drama with Dale, multiple bags of used deep litter to compare, trying to keep Matt focused. Girl, you and Matt are as entertaining or better than Regis and Kathy Lee. But in all seriousness, your ability to clearly share the wealth of knowledge you have about chickens is priceless. You have such a good handle on chicken keeping, and it shines through week after week. You probably underestimate how much you help us newbies with your expertise and good solid advice. And I know every Friday you are there for me. That is very comforting and valuable to a new chicken mama. In this box, I have for you your very own Golden Bell Award. Ding, 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 ding. Please accept it in appreciation for all the knowledge and confidence you have passed on me, a humble and grateful student. God bless you, Kristen, for what you do for all of us. May you and your family have many joyful, healthy years to come. Love, one happy anonymous chicken student. P.S. I thought with your personality it would be a hoot if your hen was the puppet-style chicken. With your imagination and fun personality, I could see you and Melody Moonlight giving everybody at Carolina Coops a good time. There isn't much laughter in the world now these days, but I am sure with your gifted sense of humor and melody in your arms, that laughter will abound. I also knew when I saw the chicken little he needed to come home with you. I wish I could have boxed up 11 more for you and put them in an incubator. Enjoy, sweetie. Wow, that is incredible.
Wow. This is quite the amazing work on these things.
So we don't know who.
Look at that.
Hold on. So I if I may.
I have no idea.
I have a different letter, but
Okay, I want to. Well, I would love to read that because here's the point I want to make right now.
I think.
I would like to make a point. Is one of my biggest jobs is I have to try to identify the strengths in people, and there are many times I will tell people your strengths, and you guys don't believe me. There is no bigger proof right now that I've told you for years, the gift you do bring to people. And not only do you do it and you do it well, and one of the reasons why I wanted to do Video Chicken, it's one of your favorite things to do.
Yeah, it is.
And that's what I try to do with all employees, is figure out what their strengths are because that's usually what they love to do. And someone anonymous, so we don't know who it's from, you know, this show, and you get to touch their lives every single week. And what a great way to show the appreciation. And it just makes me so happy, so proud of you guys. And I know Ingrid said she's got another letter. I would love, maybe not now, but maybe next week, 'cause I know we're running out of time to read that, because it makes me so proud of you guys that you do what I see. Oh yeah, oh my gosh, look, sorry.
So it's
Look.
Jennifer Riley Diggs, and she's an artist and creator of cool things, which we can attest to because these are super cool. And you can visit this at thisbirdsabsurd.com. I know I have like a Bard Rock. Does she knows that that's like one of my favorite chickens? And Kristen says a puppet, right?
We hope.
I want to. These are so
The work
great.
in these.
Yes.
The work in these is unbelievable. It's just amazing.
Wait,
so,
is it a puppet?
well, I don't know if they're both puppets, but I
How
know
did
hers
you
is
do that? Wow. I that's why we do what we do. That's why
know.
I ask you to come in every Friday and do what you do.
This is part of the show now.
And
puppets.
this makes me so happy. We, like you always said, chicken people are the best people. We have the best customers, and I just
I think she's just a fan. This
or,
isn't even a customer.
you're right. I say customers. I'm so used to customers, but our fans. That is just amazing. So these are great. So thank
They're
you.
amazing. So a big thank you, a big thank you.
This
to,
one has a molt.
is for Jennifer Riley Diggs. Thank you so much. This really has made our days. I think, Kristen. I think. I can speak for both of us.
I was trying to hold back the tears.
I know.
I don't know. if
You're
I've ever...
one of the toughest cookies I ever met, but when you fall apart, you fall apart well. I was hoping you would because it doesn't happen very often. I know a lot of things going on in your life where that was hard for you to hold back those tears.
Yeah.
And how much this has got to mean to you. And again, how I just want to use this as an example. And I wish I could do this for everyone on our Carolina Coops team because everyone just does such a great job. But that was just a moment. I had no idea what to expect when we opened up that box. And this is why we love what we do. And we got to capture it live right here on Video Chicken. She's trying to hold back the tears right now. And it's awesome. It's awesome.
Thank you.
So, yes. Okay.
Yes. So go visit thisbirdsabsurd.com, please.
These are so cool. So is it a puppet? I mean, you're
Yeah, I
Yes,
think
it is.
hers is a puppet. I don't know that mine is. I don't.
Well, we
Does
can.
it?
All right. Do we have any other questions? I don't like leaving people hanging at the end, but it is
Okay.
past 1:34, our hard cutoff. But if there's any other questions or comments,
Oh,
there's so many.
I enjoy the show every Friday. My homeschool son gets late lunch every Friday so I can watch the show. He's a great sport and a new chicken aficionado. So thank you, Cooking Sherry. Fishing Matt Ryan does not like the new ladder. Just saying.
Mike, the new ladder is standard 72. I mean, we make custom ladders all the time, but our standard, I'm just trying, again, I'm going to listen to people, especially the naysayers or the people that criticize, which I appreciate. That's usually the people that really want to see us succeed, and we're going to give it a try. Hold on. There's so
I'm just trying to see if there's something we need to address.
Someone said, Kristen, make sure my new coop has the old ladder.
I'm sorry.
That's fine. It's just what happens too when I go back to the show and I see the comments we didn't get to. I'm like, oh,
I know
crap.
there's so many. We can.
And I appreciate it. I appreciate it. I love how many 80 people still here. I did see we broke 102. Again, we are live. We just got there. They got chickens in. You guys are the best out there. I can't thank you enough for taking the time every Friday to come watch the show. We do it for you guys, but believe it or not, we do it for our sanity. We just love it and we need it. There has been talk about possibly maybe even ending the show, even maybe taking a hiatus for a little bit. And I don't want to because this just goes to prove to me again how important the show is, right? And we continue to grow it. So
Randy has a question for you, Matt.
Okay, let's go ahead.
Quick question: how high do you put the water bar from the ground?
Chest height.
Not your chest.
But
the
no,
chest.
but
I've had to learn chicken chest height to an adult. Well,
Okay,
no,
no,
you're
no,
right.
no.
You're right. You're right.
You're
You're
wrong.
right. We have been told differently by
That's
the
right.
pros.
Yep, you should
To
have it
make
a
it
little bit higher because
Beak height. Yeah.
because they have to put their heads back to drink
Yes.
them. They don't
Oh,
slurp like a dog. So
But yet you will have other chicken experts say, is that what you...
this is actually you could teach your chickens how to use the water bar with
Oh my gosh.
that fake chicken.
This probably... Oh, what do you think a rooster would do? I mean, these are
Oh,
some sexy
God, of course it
chickens.
is.
Huh?
It's
My poor dog's
are
like,
a
what the
PG
hell are you...
show.
don't put that rooster near my chicken.
All right. So beak height technically is now the official right answer from a veterinarian, Dr. Crespo, and it makes sense. But I can't help but ask, and I've had customers in the past say, no, chickens are meant to drink water from the ground.
Yeah.
That's what's more natural, and that they
I
don't.
wouldn't move your ladder. I mean, I wouldn't move it if it's. Sorry, my brain's on the ladder, but they'll do fine. But if you're installing a new one, beak height, but there's no need to rip up your old one and move
Yeah,
it.
no, it definitely isn't because I have a cinder block in front of mine for my little chicken, Midge, and the biggest chickens jump on the cinder
do.
block. And so
Cooking Sherry Jetta says, love your beautiful daughter being part of the show. So thank you, Cooking Sherry. If she can move the chicken tractor at age 4, you remember that? I know I can do it. Do you remember when you were on a video and we were trying to make these big, large coops of ours tractor style? You remember that, where we had the cranks and you could push it? We'll have to go back and recap. Thank you for that, Cooking Sherry. That was awesome. So there's people are very happy to see you.
Yeah, you rarely put me on the show.
I know we are hopefully going to start. Anyways, all right. That's a puppet chicken somewhere. There's a hand orifice.
yes.
Is it a? You're not sharing.
Yes, there is.
I mean, there must be, because you're doing such a good, and you are so entertained by this.
I am.
Greg says, I echo the sentiment from that letter. Appreciate all you guys do.
Now, is Greg the one that we got to get that coop out?
Yes.
We're going to do. Yes, we have not forgot about you. I promise. Long story short, we're actually scheduled to come out there and the truck breaks down and other issues. So we have not forgotten about you. Thank you for all the questions and comments. Maybe a hat. Kristen has a new best friend. Yeah, really.
Yeah.
See you in Tennessee. End the show. No, we're not going to. Once again, I tell you, you have to see signs in life. And there's another one. When I know, even though I grow, I'm trying to grow the quantity. I want to have as much viewers as possible. It is, at the end of the day, always about quality. And you guys are the best out there. And just, again,
It's a chicken community.
it is. That is exactly correct. So, all right.
All right, we're going to hit it.
We're going to hit it. Thank you, guys. We will see you next week. We're going to be talking about prepping, doomsday, how to make our eggs last forever, right?
Homesteading.
Preserve your eggs.
Yes. That's going to be a lot of fun. And I'm sure many other things we're going to talk
All right.
about. Have a great
Take
weekend.
care of your chickens and each other.
And your puppet.